Singing's not hard. What's hard is making it feel easy. So now we're going to go up to our highest primary vocal register, head voice. And we're going to make sure that we're vocalizing up top each day. Head voice is so important for a healthy voice. It creates release, and it makes sure that the way that you're producing your singing is very efficient and it's very relaxed. It also is going to develop your high voice for more range, okay? So we're going to come up today, and again, I want you to pick one of 3 attacks depending on where you're at with your voice. So some people, when they try to sing up higher, they're pushing too hard. They're trying to sing too loud and everything gets stuck. If that's you, I want you to use a WF and say, Fwee! Right, and try to feel like you're coming in from the top instead of up from below, and feel that voice release and connect. Fwee! Like you're cheering for your team, okay? Or like you're a cowgirl or cowboy. If you're on the other side and your voice up high feels free, but it also feels a little light and disconnected, you can try singing with a hard consonant. So say, gee, gee, gee. That's going to give you more chord closure. That consonant is going to feel like a little bit of an assist. So if you were up top and it was getting loose and breathy, whee, that's going to give you gee, 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 and start to give you a stronger attack on that high note, okay? So that can be useful. And if you're kind of in between, you can vocalize with just a pure W that sounds like this. Wee, 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 wee. And you'll notice that I'm gently walking my voice down to chest. You hearing that? Okay, so what we want is that smooth transition down. We get so used to singing vocal exercises up, but we also need to be able to get a smooth transition down, okay? The important rule with this exercise is that the highest note sounds very heady and it stays light. You don't try to add any power or bulk to it, okay? So keep that, this is for freedom and this is for flexibility. So make sure that top note gets a sing and it feels very heady and high, okay? So we're gonna start with feminine voices up on soprano G. And then I'm going to start walking you down. As we get into a more masculine range around C5, I'm going to bring in the masculine voices. Okay? And we'll join there. All right? So everybody sing again at your range, wherever you're comfortable, and come in gently for that high head voice. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Walk that down. And look to gently arrive in chest voice. Good. That's it. Make sure you're breathing. And use a smooth stream of air all the way from the top note down to the bottom. That's it. Try to connect through. Masculine voices. Here's that high C. Wee, wee. Good. Now, feminine voices, you can fall out here. Or you can sing a little lower if you want to. But I've got to descend a little further for masculine voices. One more going down. That's it. Let's come back up. Wee, 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 wee. Remember those different attacks? Fwee, wee, 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 wee. Or you can use a G. Gee, 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 gee. Pick the appropriate one for your voice. That's it. Wee, 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 wee. Good. Here's that C5 again. So masculine voices, you can fall out here, you can try to keep climbing. Feminine voices, let's keep coming up. Good job. Don't get louder. That's it. Master your medium volume. Good, go for that gentle connection. Not too breathy, but not squeezed. Let's try going a little higher for advanced singers. One more, high B flat. That's okay. Good, challenge yourself though, okay? That's how you're gonna discover new territory, all right? As long as you're not straining your voice and it doesn't feel like you're damaging something. Never do that. But you do wanna start to explore that range, and your voice is gonna start to increase 1/2 step at a time. Excellent. Any questions so far? We feeling good? Okay, all right. So we did the NG hums, then we used our filters to discover the entire range of the voice, and now we did head voice down. Next, we're going to start to do a little bit of vocal cord strengthening. So we just talked about how if your vocal cords in any part of your voice feel like they get a little slack, or you suffer from like some breaks or cracks or flips, which we all do, okay, then we need a device that starts to strengthen those up. Now, an untrained singer tends to try to fix everything with volume. They just get louder and they just start throwing their energy into the voice, right? Like I said, we go back to those body relationships. Like if we throw the football harder, it might go farther. And so we need to make sure that we're not just throwing energy at the voice, but we're actually increasing technique, and we're starting to learn how to close those cords up. So you've got a muscle inside. It's called your thyroarytenoid, your TA, that's responsible for bringing your cords together. And it's really important for vocal stability. The problem is it can over squeeze. Okay, it can get a little bit too tight and stuck, but we also don't want it on the other side of the coin opening up and feeling like it breaks. Every time you hear something awkward like that, that's you singing up higher, and then the muscle quits. So we need something that allows us to not push the voice and sing with more tension and more squeeze, but it gently closes the cords and it ensures that attack, and those are hard consonants. So if you feel that, when you say a G, you're gonna feel your cords lightly knocked together. Okay? Now I'm aware that online I also have some people from different countries, and that English is not their first language, so you may also want to try a K, okay? My Spanish speakers prefer K because they say H for their Gs, okay? So we want to make sure that we're getting that nice balanced hard attack. So say G, 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 and whether that feels like a K or a G to you, okay? We want to make sure it's not too harsh. Americans would go coo, 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 and so we don't want that, okay? But on the other side, it can't be kind of too soft with too much air in the sound. So you want to feel a nice staccato closure, and you want to feel your chords click together off that attack. G, G, G. Good, then we're going to follow that up with some narrow, hooty vowels. Narrow vowels are amazing for starting to sing up into your higher voice, because the smaller your mouth shape is, the more access you get to your higher voice inside, which is very counterintuitive, okay? But we're gonna start trying to sing up and down with flexibility, and we're gonna start with small, narrow vowels. So say, goo, goo, goo. Nice round lips. And then we're gonna try E, but I want you to sing it like you're in choir, like you're French. Say, gee, gee, gee. Right, like a laser gun, okay? We don't wanna be opening up and going, gee, 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 gee. You can hear how that makes me strain my instrument, okay? But if I soften everything, then I get and again, I can start to feel my voice register and move between the low and high voice, but it starts to sound very even. So I'm getting flexibility and strength, okay? So that's how the exercise sounds. We're gonna start with goo in the bottom, and I'm gonna be singing goo, 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 goo. See how it's very staccato? Okay, like a little drum hit. All right, let's come from the low voices first. Here we go, everybody. Goo, goo, goo. 2, 3, 4. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. Nice kick. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. It should feel very inspiring to the voice and feel successful. Feel like the top note is free and can go up higher, and keep returning to your low voice on the bottom. Don't get hung up. That's it. Go for flexibility. Easy singing. Up and down. That's it. Goo, 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Are you finding success with that? I hope. Okay, that was all the way up to that high C again. If you can't make it all the way to high C, that's okay. That's all right. If you're getting above like a performance range, which is like a high F, you're doing great, and that's a whole fifth above that, okay? So again, don't be frustrated if you can't make it to the end of the scale. Just understand that with a group class, I've got to expand that range so I'm covering all voice types, okay? Good. So there are two ways that this exercise could get hung up, okay? And I want you to be mindful of that. If you're one of those people that loves your chest voice and you start to push a little too loud and a little too high, you're going to get hung up as you cross your bridge. And you're going to get something like, go, 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 go. You don't want to feel that strain, okay? You got to get those small vowels and start to feel the voice transition up behind your soft palate into head. Goo, 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 goo. Okay? If, on the other hand, you're a head voice queen, and you love those high notes, but you tend to lack a little power, you got to be careful, especially as we descend out of that high range, that you don't pull the head voice down. And that would start to sound like this. And you're going to go, well, that feels easy, but we're going to say, yeah, it doesn't sound strong. Okay, so you've got to feel the resonance being fluid and moving up and down, in and out. Okay, we need both aspects. Remember, your chest voice is your strength feature. So if you can't access your chest, you're going to start sounding really light, okay? On the other hand, your head voice is your release feature. So if you can't let go and sing up into head voice territory, you're going to feel heavy and stuck. So it's all about flowing between those registers and not trying to make one of them overwork. Okay, so this time we're going to go all the way up and all the way back down, no stopping, and we're going to try that brighter vowel, but make sure it doesn't start to spread and it doesn't start to feel like it gets stuck, okay? So soften the corners of your mouth, give me a little pout in your lips, and say, ki, ki, ki. Good, and let's try one more time. 1, 2, 3, ki, ki, ki. Ki, 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 ki. Keep it quick. With a nice little kick. And keep the volume even. Ki, 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 ki. Ki, 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 ki. Ki, 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 ki. Feel the weight come off the top. And then feel it return to where you started. Like a boomerang. Good. You're doing it. Only sing as high as you comfortably can, but go for that range. See how I don't push? It's even. That's it. Even quality. Even tone. Very efficient. Singing's not hard. What's hard is making it feel easy. Good. Okay? So that can be inspiring. That's a really good daily vocalization for getting through some of the range and reminding your voice not to over squeeze, but also not to disconnect and sing too light, okay? A lot of your daily vocalization should be much lighter than you're gonna wanna sing on stage. What? Crazy, okay? You can't just warm up for 5 minutes and then start belting out high notes. It doesn't work like that, okay? The voice actually takes between 4 to 6 hours to warm up properly. And that doesn't mean that you need to sing for that amount of time, but that's how long it takes to warm up, okay? Feminine voices have thinner vocal cords than masculine voices, and higher voices have thinner vocal cords than lower voices. And so you've got to kind of identify what your natural voice is. It takes thicker vocal cords a little bit longer to get going, okay? So my best voice happens in the evening, and I get up every day. I vocalize twice a day, once in the morning before I teach, and then once at the end of my day is when I do my more advanced exercises to keep my stamina and my power in my voice. Does that make sense? So you've got to identify what works best for you. I know you all have schedules and lives, and you're trying to do things, and not everybody can fit in 2 vocalizations a day. But you really need to start to understand the way the voice functions, the way it behaves, so that you can get the best out of your time and out of your practice. Okay? So when you're doing these things first thing in the day, this should maybe be 1 or 2 hours after you've been awake, and you've already been talking and maybe chewing and swallowing and breathing, and your whole body and the whole apparatus is a little bit more awake. Okay? Then you want to start to do these first vocalizations, and you want to allow them. And you want them to be light, and you want them to be inspiring. They're starting to get all the muscles to coordinate properly. They're starting to get some blood pumping and flowing to the vocal cords, and none of them should be forced or pushed. Okay? Then as your voice continues to wake up and benefit from the warm-up, a few hours later, you're going to feel like you can sing stronger and louder.
Interested in more voice training? Visit us at wolfstudiosnyc.com.